What's going on, everyone? I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday weekend. Those who are religious and celebrate the religious holiday, but for those who aren't religious and didn't celebrate, I just hope you had a great regular weekend. Well, I finally got through all of the Mueller Report. I was just reading, sections here and there, off and on, and there you go. It's pretty much, it's pretty clear. The whole report was about collusion. That was the whole report. It was about collusion. That's what the intention of the report was. Now, there was no collusion. It goes through here and it says pretty much on numerous occasions that there is no evidence that the Trump administration or anybody from the Trump administration or any American colluded with the Russians to mess up the 2016 election. It just didn't happen. Now, of course, the Democrats and the liberals and the left, the whole left are going to be like, well, what about obstruction of justice? Okay, when it comes to obstruction of justice, they leave it fuzzy. Why they left it fuzzy is because they weren't going after obstruction. They were going after collusion. That said, even in the obstruction case, like if there was an obstruction case to be had, there's just not enough actual evidence to say there was straight up obstruction of justice. Yes, there was things that were like that you look at and say, let me think about that real quick. But then when you think about it and all this and you go through the laws, there still was no obstruction. There was, people in the administration and Trump himself said things that they probably should have just not said aloud, in a the whole public eye thing. But it's one of the things I like about Trump is he doesn't really have a filter. He says what he wants. And even the stuff that he was saying and things that he wanted to do and didn't end up doing wouldn't have amounted to obstruction. It would have been underprivileged. He would have been allowed to do a lot of the things that the left is saying he couldn't have done. If he wanted to fire Mueller, he could have. He could have got rid of Mueller and someone else would have came in. And the investigation would have still went on. It would have just been under someone else. That wouldn't have been obstruction of justice at all. Because the investigation was not attacked itself. It's a pretty clear thing. But it would set such a precedent for them to actually try to charge, for anybody to try to charge president of obstruction of justice for the things that he did. The talking about firing someone or talking about just moving people from where they're at and all that. It wouldn't have been obstruction because there would have been someone else put in their place to do the exact same thing. Say you got this guy, he's part of the Mueller investigation. And you like this guy. He's not part of the Mueller investigation. Well, you say, I don't like the way you're handling it, guy. So you get rid of the guy from the Mueller investigation and you put another guy in there. Well, he still has the same exact job. He would have had to still done exactly what the Mueller guy would have done. You see what I'm saying? Nothing that the administration or the president himself was trying to do. He wasn't attacking the investigation itself, per se. He wasn't trying to stop the investigation. He just didn't like some of the players that were in the investigation. But, in most cases, he didn't mess with the people because, in hindsight, he knew that would be a bad idea. The optics would be terrible. Would be absolutely terrible for him. But straight up, I mean, the Mueller report pretty much clears the president. And then you got morons, really sad morons like Elizabeth Warren, who's not even on a committee that would be in charge of impeachment. She's pushing still for impeachment. She says, like a lot of people on the left, not necessarily the politicians, but your mainstream media pundits and all that, there's grounds for impeachment. No, there's not. No, there's not. And Elizabeth Warren, I think this is just her way of trying to be heard and seen again, because her poll numbers and all that are just tanking. No one likes her. The only people that even spottily like her probably are the district where she represents. Other than that, she's kind of a joke. She's kind of a joke. But what can you do? What do you expect from someone who tries to use another race as their own to get ahead? Those people are jokes. But yeah, so it's pretty obvious when you go through and read this report that yes, there are things that make you go but upon further reflection you go, okay, I can see why that wasn't a problem. That's if you're thinking intelligently. But if you're thinking from anger, or you're thinking from rage, or you're thinking from some type of Trump derangement syndrome, you can spin some of this stuff the way it was written however the hell you want. But factually, if you just stick to factually, there's no collusion. There's no obstruction. It just wasn't there. There wasn't enough for obstruction. If there was enough for obstruction, trust me, charges would have been brought up. But there's not. So I'm going to end this video, and anybody has any particular comments or questions, just go ahead and write them down in the comments. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. I got a lot going on. I got a couple other videos I'm going to be working on today. And just as always, like, share, subscribe. I will catch y'all on the flip side.